Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my tutor coding squads. This is day 7 of the coding squads. We are going to start at 5 past, like we normally do. So we're just going to wait for everyone to trickle in. But if you are already here, if you wouldn't mind just quickly saying a quick message in the chat saying hello, hi, just let me know that you're there, and then at 5 past, we are going to get started. So let's just wait for everyone to come in. If you're just joining us, if you wouldn't mind saying a quick message. Hi there, I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing very well. It's been a pretty busy week so far. How's your week been? If you are just joining us, just put a quick message in the chat so I know that you're there. And then at 5 past, we're going to get started. Israel has said, had a good week so far, just such cold weather at the moment. Yes, I'm very aware of that. I live in Glasgow, so the weather is pretty cold. It's not as cold as other places in the world, I reckon, right now, but it's pretty cold for me. So I don't do very well with the cold. Yeah, that's good to hear. I think a lot of you might be studying for mock exams as well, or maybe prelims, depending on where you are or what you call them. So I wonder how everyone's dealing with revision and getting ready for the GCSEs. How's everybody feeling about it? Hello there, Diamond Guy. Welcome. Just to let everybody know, we are starting in 2 minutes, so get ready for that. I'd also recommend, if you are just joining now, to log on or create an account with Replit. That is the program that we are going to be using today. It's a browser program. It should work on basically every computer. And the reason we're using it is because it can work on every computer, and it means that you don't have to download any libraries for today, which would be fantastic. So if you're just joining us, Replit. Go onto Replit. You should be able to log in with like a Google account, or I believe even a Facebook account, or just a regular email and password. I would recommend doing that. Someone said I had to switch computers because the account I was using didn't have chat. Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm glad you're here. Just to let you know, guys, we are going to start in 1 minute. And for those of us who are just joining, please make sure that you are logged into Replit for today. I know a lot of you might be using different IDEs, you might be using PyCharm or IDLE or just an online Python compiler, but I found this one to be the best one for this content, so please use Replit. It should be really easy to find. If you just Google Replit on any browser, you'll find it. Alrighty, that is 5 past. So we will get this started, first of all, let's wait for the presentation to load. Can everyone see the presentation up on the screen? I'm going to move my head out of the way. There we go. If you can see the presentation up on the screen, please just type in the chat, yes. So I know that I've done it right. Okay, we got a yep. Awesome. Okay, so welcome back to My Tutor Coding Squads. This is day 7 of the Tutor Coding Squads. Today, we are going to be continuing a lot of the Pygame stuff that we were doing last time. So, as always, we like to do a recap, and today we are going to be looking at more advanced stuff in Pygame, specifically looking at how to add backgrounds and actors into your game. What is an actor? Stay tuned. I'll explain in a sec. We're also going to be adding music to the game. Music is a pretty important part of games, so I thought it'd be useful to add there. And also position and rotation of your actors. So where do they start and how do they move? And of course, there's no point in doing position and rotation without any movement. We're also going to be starting a continuous project. We're going to be starting something called a dual catcher game. So we're going to be making those throughout the week. So as we go on, the game will get a bit more advanced each time, and hopefully you'll learn some really good programming constructs that you'll be able to use in your GCSE or A-level or just in everyday life if you're a programmer. So yeah, stick around for that. I just got a message there that says, I'm really good at making music. Well, that would be perfect for video games. But yeah. Let's have a quick recap of the previous session. So, last week we looked at what Pygame Zero is. It is basically Pygame, but a more simple, more stripped down version that's used for educational purposes. We looked at how to add different things into our Pygame world, aka we looked at shapes and we looked at adding images. We did look a bit into adding backgrounds of just plain backgrounds, and we looked at RGB color theory. RGB stands for red, green, blue, and it's how computers compute color, and that's how you can save color in your game. So, without on further ado, we are going to move on to the day 7 content. Now, as I said at the start, we are going to be using something called Replit. This is what Replit looks like if you haven't ever seen it before. It's really, really easy to find. You just literally type in Replit on your computer. It will be the first thing that comes up. You can then log in. I'll log out just to show you. But then you just either sign up if you've never created an account before, or you can log in. You can log in using Google or GitHub, Facebook, Apple. Very, very easy to do. It's just, I found it's the best thing for this course specifically. It also means that all of your work that you do is not only saved automatically, but it's saved online. So you can do it anywhere, regardless if you need to switch computers or not. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing today. Once you've got Replit up, you're going to click Create. This will create kind of a workspace for you to work in. Now, you'll see there's options for lots of different templates. We've got Node, we've got Python, we've got C, yada, yada, yada. You're going to be looking for a specific one, aka you're going to be looking for a Pygame Replit. If you look for a Python template instead, it's not going to work. It's going to crash. You want to use Pygame specifically. So make sure that your template is Pygame. Then you can give it a name of anything you like. So I'm going to call it My Tutor Day 7 because I like to be consistent. And then once you've done that, you're going to click Create REPL, and that will create you a little workspace for you to work in. It's got a file system, it's got the console, it's got everything that you will need. So once you've got that all working, guys, just let me know in the comments to move on, and I'll get on with the programming. Oh, also, it comes up with this stuff, which you normally use for the regular Pygame. You can just get rid of that right now. You don't need it. But yeah, when you're ready for me to move on, just let me know. Okay, Diamond Guy is good. We'll just wait a few more seconds for everyone, and then we'll get started. Those of you who are waiting, have you ever done any kind of Python stuff before? Or are you completely brand new? Okay, so someone said nope, they've never done coding before. Some people have done coding before, and some people they've tried it, but I'm better at visual coding. Okay, so I'm guessing you mean kind of stuff like Scratch and stuff before? Okay. Hello there, Erden. Just to quickly catch up on what we are currently doing, we've created a replet. We have created a specific replet. It's going to be a templated one, templated in Pygame for today. Diamond Guy said exactly. Well, okay, yep. Python's great. Not Python. Scratch is great. I really love using Scratch. It's really, really fun. And it makes programming so much easier. So, yeah, I understand why you like it. Yes. So, let's carry on with our stuff today. So, to set up our Pygame Zero console or our output, if you like, we need to first import the library that we're going to be using, so pgzero. So that allows us to use the Pygame Zero library. And then at the end of our program, we always have this here, which says pgzrun.go, open brackets, close brackets. Now, when I run this program, what you'll see is it will start to download all of the libraries that I need for me. And this might take a few seconds for you, depending on how quick your computer actually is. For me, my computer should be pretty quick, so it's very nearly done. But once it's done that, we should be able to rock and roll. And yes, you'll need to do this every time that you create a new REPL to work in. Okay. It's nearly done. It's got a few things to install. Okay, so once that's all installed, someone's asked, why do we need to write this every time? So the reason why you need to write this every time, the first line you need to write because you want to import the library. So a library is a collection of code that is pre-written that you can steal into your program. So that's why we need that. We need that to use all the Pygame Zero stuff in our program. The second line here is just, it's a function that allows our program to run all the Pygame stuff after we've set it. It will make more sense as we go along, but that's basically why we do it. So once we've done that, we need to actually set up our world. So we are going to set up the width and height of our screen. So we're going to write on width, and we're going to do width is 450, height, make sure these are in capitals and that they are spelt correctly. If you spell it incorrectly, it's not going to work. And you can also give your world a title. So I'm going to call it My Tutor Day 7 Game. But you can call it whatever you like. I'll also change the background slightly so it has something to, so we can actually see something happening. To do that, I need to create a color. So I'm going to create a random color. It's going to be in a variable, so I'll do 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 112. If this is all unfamiliar to you or this doesn't seem to make sense, I would recommend looking at the previous video. This covers why we save the variables like this, what RGB color theory is, all that lovely stuff. And then I'll just do this. This should all be, this is just revision from last time. But basically, if I run this program here, what's going to happen is it makes this little output here, my tutor day 7 game, and we've got this here. And it's not got the background color, so hang on. There we go. So we've just set up a world. The only thing that we didn't really need was this background color, but I just showed that to show you what will happen. So this is where our game will happen. When you guys are happy for me to move on, just let me know. Okay, Anonymous17 has said done. Diamond Guy is also done. Okay, we will continue on. So the first thing we're going to look at is adding. Okay, this is a comment, by the way. You don't need to write this down. Adding backgrounds and actors. So we've already looked at how to add in a basic color background. This here, I mean, it's quite nice. You know, I can change the color to be any color I wanted. But sometimes we want something that's a bit more flashy. We might want to use an image, for example, and we can do that. But we need to make sure we do it properly. The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to create a folder called images. This is where you're going to store every image that is used within Pygame Zero. It has to be specifically called images. If it's not called images, it is not going to work. So what you're going to do is in here, you're going to press new folder, and you're going to call it images. Inside this folder here, you're going to upload an image from your computer. I have some images that I can use for a background, but if you want to, you can also just Google backgrounds of anything you like, starry backgrounds, adventure backgrounds. I'm sure you guys know how to Google images. But you can then add a file from your computer. So if you press add file, upload file even, and then you can use a one from your computer. So I've got this one here called Spiral, and I'm going to make sure it's in the images folder. And then I can start to use it. So I'm just going to get rid of this code here, this code here. Someone's asked, how do you upload file? I didn't see. So what you do is you press these 3 buttons here next to files, and you click this here that says upload file, and then you can upload a file into Replit. So I got this .png file here. Does it work if I put a video? I've never tested it with a video, but I'm going to go with no. I've only seen it work with .png files and just image files in general, so I wouldn't test it with a video. Okay, then how do you delete it, lol? Okay, if you put in a video, what you can do is you can click the 3 dots next to that video, and then you can just press delete, and that will delete it off your Replit, so you don't need to use it. Okay, and then once you have your image in the image folder, we can start to actually add it to our program. So the way we do that is we type screen.blit. The first part is we're going to add the name of the image. So in this case, my image is spiral.png, so I'm going to write spiral. And then comma, and then the next part I'm going to write where it is meant to be in my program. So I want it to be in the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to write 0, 0, like coordinates. And then if I run that, what it's going to do is it's going to find the image from the image folder. There we go, look. I wonder if I can make that even bigger. Probably. There we go. I tried to move it and it got angry with me. But that's the general idea. You can add images as backgrounds and you tell it where to go using this coordinate system there. But there we go. When you guys are happy for me to move on, just let me know. Someone's trying to find a good image. Yeah, I realize that this might be the trickiest part of the entire stream is not the actual coding, but trying to find images and music clips that you actually want to use. So it's going to be interesting. But really, if you have any image on your computer, it will work fine. You can also try this out in your own time with as many fun images as you want to. Alrighty guys, I am gonna move on. If you need me to slow down at all, just let me know. But the next part is we are going to add an actor to our game, which is like adding in a character. So it's a character that we can control and move around the screen. It's different to a background, which is just static on the back. These are similar to sprites in Scratch, for example. So the way we do that is we can add a image. So I've got an image for my character here, so I'm going to add another image. So upload file. I've got this image here of a ship, and that's going to be my character. And making sure it's in the images folder. Look, make sure it's in there. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And then what I can do is I can declare my actor. So I'll give him a name. I'll call him ship. And set that equal to an actor. And then the name of the file. So ship. Now, if I run that code, currently it's not going to do anything. It's just going to keep the background on there because I haven't told it to add it to the screen. The way I should add it to the screen is in this draw function here. So underneath the screen background, I'm going to write ship.draw. And what that's going to do, hopefully, is it's added the ship as a character in the game. It's put it in the top right corner, top left corner even. I'll show you how to change that in just a second, but there you go. That's how you add a actor to your game. The image isn't working. I don't know why. Unfortunately, Diamond Guy, I cannot see your screen. What I'd recommend you do is make sure, first of all, that your image is in the correct folder. So you see here how I've got this folder here. If I close that folder, see how both my ship.png and my spiral, the ones I'm using, are in that folder. Also make sure in this part here where you said ship and spiral, that's the actual name of the file. So ship.png, I put ship. For spiral.png, I've put spiral. If your images are called something funky, it's not going to work and you're going to have to change the name of your image. time to start a stream just to show you. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the problem with a lot of the streaming is that I can't actually see some of the issues when you guys are having them, which is very, very annoying. But just those are generally the common issues that we have, is that if your images aren't in the image folder, it's not going to work. Also, make sure that you've written images, not image. If you change the file name to image, as I show here, it's gonna stop working. Your machine is going to cry. As you can see here, nothing happens. It can't find it. So make sure that your folder is called images, plural. Now it's gonna work. Okay. I am incredibly behind. You know what? I'm chill. I can wait for a few seconds. I was going to move on, but I will just wait. If you're having trouble with the background specifically, you don't need a background and an actor. You can just have a plain background, and the way you do that, I'll show you how to have a plain background as well. Is you just create a variable to store your color. So 1 2 3 2 2 2 1 1 1. I have no idea what color that's going to be. And then instead of adding in your picture, you're going to write screen.fill, if you can spell screen correctly, and then background. And that way you can at least have a background of sorts. It might also work better for the rest of this as well. There we go. Oh, there we go. Is anyone actually ready for me to move on, or should I just sit back and wait? Take some time to relax. So I will. I haven't had some water in a long time, so I will drink my water bottle and wait. I also realize that I type incredibly fast and I speak incredibly fast. So I will try and keep things slower and more mellow. None of this is working for me, lol. That is very frustrating. It's even more frustrating that I can't see the problem of what you're having with your computer. I'd also make sure that you're using the right template as well. Make sure that you're not doing a Python template. It should be a Pygame template. That might be the reason. If you're getting any specific error in the console as well, if there's an error coming up here, and you could type it in the chat, and I might be able to work it out from there. But this is the frustrating part of programming when you can't see anyone's errors. So I think in a minute, what I will do is I will move on, and then any other problems that come up, I'll see if I can fix while I'm talking about new stuff. But yeah, that is very frustrating. I'm going to type it in little spurts because too big at once. Fair enough, fair enough. I also think there is a character limit on the actual chat as well. so people don't spam the chat. So it's probably good that you are splitting up so you don't get banned. But what I will do is, it is past, and I do have other content that I need to get to. So I am going to move on, but I will do my very best to try and help out over the internet. So currently we've just added in a background and an actor to our game. Our actor is called Ship. However, we can actually set some movement for our ship. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this little ship move all around the screen, and I will show you how to do that now. So first of all, I'm going to set where the ship is going to be on the screen. So I'm going to write ship dot top left equals 50, 100. And if I just run that program, hopefully, yep, as you can see, he's moved. So what this does here is it sets his coordinate on the screen. Imagine this at the top here is 0, 0. It's kind of like a backwards coordinates. Normally coordinates are like this. It's the other way around. Oh, there we go. And there is your error. Oh, interesting. Actor.py in line 88. Oh, please replay. You're not editing this. Huh. That is really strange. And oh, I hate the Streamlabs bot so much. All I wanted to do was just see what your error was. I'll wait for you to come back in a sec. Yep, Streamlabs doesn't like you. I'm sorry, that wasn't my fault. Yeah, I'll have a look and see if I can figure out what's going wrong with your one there, because that's really strange, but I will move on. But yeah, that's really annoying. Anyway, so I've shown you how you can move your actor around the screen. If I change the coordinates, I can change where the actor is. So 100, 100. And there you go. The actor has moved slightly. But I can also make him actually move in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two variables to allow him to move, and I'm going to call them speed underscore x and speed underscore y. And these will determine the speed in the x direction and in the y direction. You can set these to whatever you like, but I'm going to set these to 7 and 10. Speed.x is 10, speed.y is 7. Now, to change the speed continuously as the program is running, we are going to need to use a new function. It is called updates, and this function is almost kind of like a game loop. It runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and runs until you press stop. So that's what that one does. And we're going to put it just above the draw function. So we're going to write def update. If you've never seen this def word before, by the way, we did cover it in the functions stream, so I recommend you check out that one. But in this function here, we are going to write ship.x. So we're going to look at the x coordinate here, equals ship.x plus speed underscore x. And then we're going to do the same for the y. Ship.y equals ship.y plus speed underscore y. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add in screen.clear, and that's going to clear anything that was originally on the screen. Yours says undefined name actor and undefined name screen. Maybe it's just her coding essence that's making the code work well. I'm wondering if it might have anything to do with the way that you're naming your images. As long as you've got, it might be that you have got them as a different name. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to double check that one. But essentially, I'll run that again and just... As you can see, there you go, he moved across the screen. He's gone now, but I'll bring him back. So, just to show you what happens. He's going to move across the screen going downwards because it continually moves, and that's how you add movement to your game. However, a few people are having problems with even the coloured background isn't working. That's so weird. Normally, at least the background works, and that's very strange. Huh. Are you guys using Replit? Or are you using something else? If you're using something else, tell me what you're using. Because that's really, really odd. Annoying as well, because one of the things I enjoy about doing this is watching people getting their code to work, so that's really strange. No, I was accidentally on Google Docs? What? Yeah, those of you who it isn't working for, if you wouldn't mind quickly telling me in the chat if you're using Replit or not, and then, yeah, I'll see if I can figure it out. Ah, okay, I'm just an idiot. I didn't know that slash J meant joking. That makes me feel really old. But yeah, Diamond Guy, are you using Replit at all, or are you using PyCharm or something? Yeah, I'm using Pygame and Replit. Huh. And you've definitely got the import pgz run, and you've got pg.z run go at the bottom there. Yes. Huh. And even when you just do the regular background, I'm going to comment all of this out for now, but just to kind of make sure. Yeah. So if I just have everything except for just the background, so just having this code up on the screen, it still doesn't work for you. It just cries. It works now. Okay, okay, that's good, that's good. What did you do? I deleted the actor script. Okay, so at least something is working. Interesting. I'm thinking that it must be the images you're using. Maybe try using a .png file instead. I haven't tried it with different image files. I've only really tried it with .png files. Maybe that's the reason? But unfortunately, it's really hard to tell over the internet. I was using JPEG. Try using PNG. That might work a lot better. Yeah. Huh. At least it's working, because that was giving me real, real fears that even just the simplest stuff wasn't working on your computer. I got very scared there. But yeah, .png files. Try those. See if that works. But yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah, movement. So basically, just to sum up what I did before I got rid of everything, I added two variables, speed x and speed y, set to 10 and 7, and then using this update function, I changed them every few milliseconds to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which made the movement of our actor move across the screen. However, this isn't always great. We might want to make the actor bounce on the screen, so we want to keep him actually on the screen and not leaving every time, and there's a way of doing that, and I'll show you how to do that now. So what you're going to do is, in this update function, you're going to write global speed x and global speed y, and then we're going to use an if statement to check whether or not our ship has hit either side of the screen. So if he's hit the left or right of the screen, we want him to move in the backwards direction. So what we're going to do, oh, I spelled global wrong. There we go. So if our ship in the left corner is bigger than 0, or the ship in the right is smaller than the width, which is the width of our screen, then we want to reverse the speed, aka we're going to say the speed dot underscore x is equal to minus speed underscore x. So that's going to stop him going left and right. As soon as I add actor scripts, the background disappears. That's very, very strange. You might need to make sure everything's spaced out properly. Again, it's really, really difficult to figure out why people's code is going wrong when you can't see it. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah. So this is going to check for the left and right, but our ship can also move top and bottom as well. So we need to make sure that if he ever hits the top or the bottom of the screen, that we reverse the Y speed. So if, I'll just put that here, if ship dot top is 0 or ship dot bottom is greater than the height, then we need to reverse the Y speed. So speed underscore Y is going to be negative speed underscore Y. And then if I run this program, what you should hopefully see, if I've done it correctly, is the ship bounces around the screen. He wouldn't, well, I've made the screen not as big as my actual screen. I might change the size there in a sec. But yeah, that's what's meant to happen. I'm going to quickly change the height of the screen to something a bit smaller so I can keep it up on the screen there, but there we go. It's like the DVD logo thing where it bounces all across the screen. Oh, there we go. Someone says I want to go on Scratch because I understand that well. I know it's quite frustrating when it's not working. I'm really, really sorry about that. Hopefully you can fix that in your own time because it's really difficult to fix it on here. But everyone who's watching, does that code make sense of why that's happening? So you've got two variables here. You're increasing them every few milliseconds, and then if they ever reach, the ship reaches the left or the right or up and down, it reverses speed so it always stays on the screen. Hey, the ship hit the corner perfectly. Oh, did it? I didn't actually see that. Oh, brilliant. Okay. So we've got a few more minutes left, so I will do a few more different parts, and then we'll just wrap up today. So currently we've looked at adding a background, we've looked at adding an actor to the game, and we've looked at changing the position of our actor using the update function. There's one more bit that we're going to look at, and that is adding music to the game, which is very, very important in a lot of video games. So the way that we're going to do that is you will need to have another folder called sounds. So, oh wait. So what you're going to do is you're going to create another folder and make sure this is called sounds. Someone says, how has it been 47 minutes already? I don't know either. Honestly, these lessons fly by so quickly that I don't even realize. But anyway, what you'll need to do is you'll need to create a folder called sounds, and in there you can put a sound. So I've saved a sound from my computer, so I'm going to upload a file from my computer. I found this on YouTube Studio, but as long as you found a very small little sound, normally .ogg files or .wav files work best, so I recommend that you use those. So you're going to upload a file. Mine's a .mp3 file. Whoops. Let me just quickly find the .wav file on my computer. Everyone who's still watching, has everything maybe not worked, but at least made sense of how the code actually works? Oh, the images weren't below the image folder. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm guessing that's why it wasn't working. Okay, yeah. So the images were in the images folder. Yours is working, Gail. That's awesome. I'm really glad yours is working. But yeah, the images are in the folder itself. If they're outside the folder, it's not gonna work, and it's just not gonna be able to search for them. Just to kind of show you on my screen here. Yeah, if they're like outside the folder and it just looks like they're below it here, it's not gonna work. It has to be inside that folder there. That's one problem done. Mine is working, changing it to a shorter name works. Yes, sometimes the size of whatever you're working with, like the length of it doesn't work. No, I've changed all these files to have slightly shorter names as well, so that seems to work pretty well. But yeah, okay. I'm actually really glad that some of the code is actually starting to work, because I was really worried that nothing was going to work at all, but whew, okay, I'm glad it's working. Makes me very happy. But yes, I found a .wav file on my computer, so I can use that file. Someone says, I still have problems in my console, but it's half of what I had before. That is basically what programming is 101. Dealing with a bunch of problems, each one new, every time. In my experience in programming, it is just basically creating a program and then solving all the problems that you've created in said program. So yeah, welcome to the world of programming. But yeah, making mistakes means that at least you'll learn what to do next time. But yes, let me just get my screen up. Okay, so finally found a sounds file. It needs to be a .wav file or a .org file. If you have an MP3 file, there is a way of doing it, but it is really complicated, and I'd rather not go through it. If people are really interested, I might go through it, but regardless, you'll want a .wav file. So I've got an applause sound here, and make sure it is in the sounds folder. Everything needs to be in the folders that you're using. Okay, so to use this sound within your game, you are going to use the following code. I'll put it in the update one here. Oh, someone said, I might become a Scratch tutor when I grow up as a part-time job or something, because it seems kind of fun. Yeah, I used to do that a lot, actually. I used to do a lot of Scratch programming, tutoring, actually. And, yeah, Scratch tutoring is probably one of the funnest stuff. I'm doing it in something called Thonny. It's basically the same as Idle, but the shell is on the same place as the code. That sounded like it would be really useful. I've never heard of that before, though. I might have to look that up. But, yeah, I mean, I use Replit because it's just something that is very accessible, but you don't have to use it. It's not mandatory for you to use. But yeah, so going back to this, if you want to add sounds to your game, you write sounds dot and then the name of your file. So mine is called applause, so I'd write applause, if I can spell applause, dot play. Now this is going to play it forever and ever. I've also turned off all my desktop sounds so you won't be able to hear it, but essentially that's how the code works. You do sounds dot the name of your file dot play, and then add applause when it hits the corner. That's a smart idea, actually. Hang on. I wonder if... So it's going to hit the corner when it hits left and right and height and bottom. So what I could do is I could just put it in here. I like Diamond Guy's suggestion. So yeah, every time it hits the corner, now the applause sound will play. It's not going to play out loud because I've got sounds turned off, because having sounds on your computer is just really, really annoying when you're streaming. But you're going to have to take my word for it that to do it, you just run like that, and then it should work. Where's the console gone? Unexpected indent. Oh, yep, whoopsies. There we go. Okay. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I wonder if it's worth it to go through the kind of overarching game that we're going to be building over the next few days, few weeks even. But essentially, the game is going to be kind of like a jewel catcher game. So you play as the ship icon that I've created. You can use whatever image you like, and you'll go around collecting gems, collecting points, and you'll have a point system, and you can save the points into like a leaderboard system. It should be really good. Hopefully, you guys are actually into making games. Are you guys into game design, game making, game programming? I'm guessing by the silence. Oh, okay, we've got a few people saying I am. Okay, cool, cool. Well then, that's gonna be really good to stick around in. But what I'll do for the last 5 minutes, I am. But when I start a project, I almost never continue it. Yep, you are basically me. I have so many projects that I have started and not completed. Um, yeah, I feel that. I feel that very strongly. So we've got 5 more minutes, and then I will start off the game that we're going to create as we go along, and then we'll wrap up. My teacher said at the end of the year we'll make a game of some sort. Oh, cool! I'm guessing you're doing programming or computer science in school as like a GCSE then? Okay. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool. Um, I hope you, and maybe it was with Pygame then, and then you'll be all ready to go. But yes, I will create a new REPL. I'll call it Jewel Catcher, and then I'll show you how to start off the game that we're going to create as we go along. So I'm going to, at the top here, I'm going to press Create. And I'm going to make sure to look for the Pygame replet, and I'm going to save this as Jewel Catcher. And we will come back to this as we go along. So yeah. So to start our jewel catcher game that we're going to be doing as we go along, we're going to need the same 2 lines that we start using at every single Pygame Zero game that we make. I'm going to write pgz run at the top to get the Pygame library, and at the bottom you're going to write pgz run dot go. That will start our downloading stuff, and then I'll show you the first bit that we're going to do. Alrighty. So, to start off our jewel catcher game, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our screen. We want to set up the width and the height of the screen like we've done every single time. So we're going to write width and height is equal to 600 and 800. Next, we're going to create a actor. We're going to, for our ship or our jewel catcher, I've used a ship for this, but you can use whatever you want. And like before, we're going to create a folder called images, and you'll add in whatever image you want. You can change this as many times as you want, like you can choose different images and different stuff throughout the game. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use the one that I've chosen though. I'm going to use a ship. And I'm going to call it ship. I'm going to set it to be an actor and give it its proper name. Ship. From ship.png. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set its X and Y coordinates to be 370 on the screen and the Y coordinates to be 550. I've done that for a very specific reason. And I'm also going to create a background variable. And I'm going to set it to 80, 0, 70. Then the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to create the draw function to draw them up onto our screen. So I'm going to write screen.fill background, and I also want it to draw my ship. So if I run that code there, hang on. I made the same mistake that everyone's been doing throughout the program. I didn't put the image into the correct folder, but now it should work. So there we go. I'll make the console a lot bigger. Can't even see the ship, it's so small. But yeah, that is going to start off our game, and then as we go along, we're going to add keyboard inputs so that if you press different buttons, the character will start to move around, and yeah, that is what we're going to carry on next time. But that is all we've got time for today. We've got 2 minutes, so I'll just quickly wrap up what we did today. So today we started to go into more depth in Pygame Zero. We looked at folders and how to name folders and how to use them, specifically with images and sounds. In the future, please save your stuff in the correct place, because it'll make things a whole lot easier. And we also looked at position and movement of our actors, so how we can move them across the screen, and we can set their positions statically. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I hope that you've at least learned something in this session. And what we're going to be doing is next time we're going to be looking into even more complicated stuff with Pygame Zero. So if you really want to make video games and stuff in the future, or you just want to learn a bit of programming, I'd stick around for that. But we've got a minute left, so if you guys have got any questions for me on Python or programming or just computer science in general, now is the time to ask. But if not, I will see you guys next week. And thank you all those who are having problems but still stuck with it. I'm really, really proud of your dedication. Bye, Gail. Thank you so much for wishing me a good rest of my week. I hope you have a great rest of your week as well. Goodbye there, Diamond Guy. Thank you so much for sticking through it. are we going to do a 3D game? We are not. We are going to stick in the 2D realm. We're going to make a 2D game. If you want to make 3D games, I'd recommend doing some a programming language that could handle 3D stuff. So Python's probably not your best bet there, but ours is just going to be a 2D game. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, if there are no other questions, I will head off and I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.